What's up, everybody? Today you are in for a treat. Death juice is coming to my house. You don't know what death juice is, and honestly, we have questions about what death juice is, but let me tell you what it's not. It's not glyphosate. It's not any other herbicide, although there could be something mixed in it. We'll find out a little bit later. It is a hodgepodge of something that caused a lot of damage to a lot of lawns this year. There are two mixes on their way to my house right now. They are going to be applied out of a spray truck, and we're gonna split my back lawn in half. This is a lot to talk about. Hold on, I'll tell you the story. All right, so one of my customers is on their way up here, Travis Holmes from Holmes Lawn and Pest down in Salt Lake City. Been a customer for a number of years, and this year, because of the rising prices of nitrogen, we made some choices out of Georgia that shipping any of our in-charge and things like that out this far west was just going to be cost prohibitive for anybody who was trying to use it. So in lieu of doing that, the option was to source nitrogen locally, and then we would use our biostimulants and all the other stuff and goodies inside of whatever mix of nitrogen that our customers were using. That all seemed like a good idea at the time. Now, normally this would be something that should be pretty easy to maintain, pretty easy to do. And the material that was sourced locally was just 32% UAN, very common, nothing really fancy about it, just good nitrogen source, easy to spray. The rates typically on that for lawn care are gonna be like 0.6, maybe 0.75 if you're going high, but a lot of people use it at kind of lower rates as they go through the season. Okay, as time went on through the course of the season and things started to get hot, lawns began to burn up, and I mean burn up in a big way. Going through and kind of breaking down everything that was in the mixes of these tanks, I felt as though we found the culprit in the whole situation. And the problem, though, because there had been some damage, there was enough concern that none of this material was then being used for the rest of the year. So here are a couple thousand gallons sitting down in a shop that Travis is so concerned about. He doesn't want to have it go on anybody's lawns. I'm trying to convince him that it's okay, and that's why we're going to be doing this today. So what we have coming up here are two different things. The first is concentrated nitrogen that's been stabilized, and there was concerns at one point that the stabilizer was bad, but I still don't think that's the case. And the other one was actually pulled from all of the spray trunks when when this started to happen. It was put into a big tank, and it has just been sitting and festering for a couple of months. So I'm trying to say, hey, don't worry about it. This is all going to be fine. But there is concern. So I volunteered my own lawn. That's what's coming up here. Death juice is going to be applied. We are going to put half of it with just the concentrate that came out of the totes, and the other half out of this huge tank that's been festering, and see what happens. I mean, what could possibly happen? If it smokes the whole lawn, that just gives me something to do next year, right? Let's check it out. He's here. Oh, I did right up in here.
Convenient.
That is really convenient.
It's handy.
All right. What do we got? What's in that tank? What can you tell me about it?
It's murder juice.
Murder juice.
Yeah.
Murder juice. Okay. What's it? Do you know what's in there?
It's about a half a pound of N per
Okay.
1,000.
Yep.
A little bit of 2,4-D.
Okay. Pause right there. The 2,4-D in there is going to keep me from putting any of this on the green. So none of this is going to go on the green. That would cause some damage.
It's got some humic 12.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say a little bit of aerate.
Okay. They're seeking this too?
No,
Not in this one.
not sea kelp, no.
Okay.
This has been sitting in our shop for months, probably since May, and it's now October.
Yes.
It's just been sitting. Don't dare touch it, so now we get to spray it on your lawn.
Try to, you think it smells really bad. How does it smell to you?
It burns.
Burns.
Burns your brain.
Burns your brain. Okay, yeah, you got that? Burns the brain. Now, I did just stick my head up in there a second ago, and it does, it has volatilized like crazy. It smells, well, like if you were putting your face into bleach. That's kind of how it smells. So, we are going to do 1,000 square feet with this.
Okay.
And currently he's got this thing set up to do roughly 3 gallons per 1,000 square feet. So let's say that was a half a pound in. We're gonna go a little heavier. We're gonna put about 5 gallons on 1,000 square feet. So we're gonna go somewhere in that 0.75, 0.8 range up on the back section of the lawn. We might as well go for full roast. Then what else do you have?
I've just got some UAN 3200 here. We can put some stabilizer in it.
Okay. We got a small bucket here. We got about
almost 2 gallons probably.
Maybe a gallon. This is a 2-gallon bucket, right?
2.5, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got about a gallon of that.
I was fearful that maybe it was the stabilizer that was causing some of this. I don't think that anymore, but still could be.
Still could be.
I have a whole bunch of this sitting at the shop.
Okay.
I didn't want to touch it all year, so I just brought in new stuff.
So we'll take the rest of the lawn after we do the upper part. We'll take the rest of the lawn. We will take about a gallon out of this, and we'll drop it into the same tank as the murder juice, and put that on the rest of the lawn.
Okay.
And then
see what happens.
See what happens.
With the lawns we burnt, it was basically just really severe tip burn.
Mm-hmm.
As long as people were watering properly, it grew out within 3 to 6 weeks. There were some spots where corners where technicians were going a little heavier than they probably should have been. A lot of that never came back, especially the fine fescues and the smaller grasses. But the majority of our customers, we gave out a lot of free credits, but a lot of them grew back. Talked to them about some watering tips, and it came back. I've just been holding off on applying any of this.
Okay, so if anybody caught that, the major thing here that we saw was tip burn, which would just immediately say this is just a nitrogen phytotoxicity thing. We're just getting kind of, it was a little too hot, maybe not enough water mixed in, hot temperatures, all that kind of stuff. That's typically how you're going to see grass burn. It's going to burn the tips if it's nitrogen. If it's herbicide or something else, the plant is smoked. Now, I did see one picture. We're going to show it right here. This was of a fine fescue lawn, and that thing looked like it just got wasted. But it all came back.
Yep.
When temperatures started to cool down, it came back. So everything about this to me screams nitrogen application in either too much heat or with not enough water. So that's kind of where I'm lining up on all this. It's not a problem with any of the material. It's just temps and water volume. So that's what we're going to go check out right now.
Put the place up. Put my face up. Why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you slapped me in the back.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is grab this first 1,000 square feet for this section. This other like 2,500 we'll do with the other stuff. So from roughly the edge of the roof line here on the shed, that way is gonna be our first run at this. And we're gonna go ahead and spray, like I said, about 5 gallons out total, which is a pretty heavy application. Almost as much in as I put on this lawn all year. So that'll be fun. We were sitting here talking, and he felt like that application was a little bit light. So I just told him to go ahead and dust the whole thing again. I am really going for every chance to do as much damage as possible, because I just don't think it's going to be there. Now, I urge you to be subscribed, just so we can find out what's going to happen on this. I will be watching it over the next couple of days. Maybe we'll try to put out a video on this at the end of the week before the weather really turns, and we'll see if there's been any changes or not. But like I said, I'm not expecting to see a whole lot, and more of this and doing this and putting it on film It's to put Travis at ease that he's got all this material that he doesn't have to get rid of, tens of thousands of dollars of nitrogen, that everything's gonna be just fine. Spray it in the spring and fall, watch it in the summertime, and everything else will be just fine. Well, as they say, that's all she wrote. Application's done, now we're just gonna sit around and wait. So, let's find out. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see if there's anything bad or not. But again, this is to put his mind at ease. Know that the material's okay. There's a good time of year to spray nitrogen, especially here. It's that time of year. It was like perfect to do this today. We'll get into that in the next video about putting down that fall nitrogen application on your cool season grass. So stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you guys real soon. Later. Roll backwards too. If you don't go all the way up into the rough, you'll get up on that hill and it'll start to kind of leak back.
Hold on.
That's out. He's out of there. This was just a deep cut that I've been